Pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant, slay the competition cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
For any of those who don't know, I actually am working on a new intro. It's just that one is just so great, and Kevin killed it when he made this.
Also, downloading all those videos is a pain, by the way.
It is, especially on like a lower. I mean, I have a bigger computer now thanks to Clem Design and switching locations, but
no, it's still a pain. Like regardless of how fast or big your computer is, it sucks.
It's a pain in the ass. So is apparently getting people to come on the show besides my loyal and awesome friend, Mr. Kev of Tailgate and the Quad Pod. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Korner with Pregame. I am, of course, your host, Mr. Jared Clem. You know, it was a slower day news-wise, and then about, 20 minutes before we go live? Oh, man, another NFL player just, gave us some headlines to talk about. Also, we're going to probably talk some NHL playoffs as well. Because god damn it, my Penguins could not close out the Rangers last night. It made me so upset. I woke up this morning. I fell asleep in the first period, and I woke up and was like, damn it. Damn it. So, yeah, that was how my morning started. Yeah, so I guess the initial news is Jared Judy joining his team, his former college teammate Henry Ruggs. Both a little bit hit. Jared Judy's in a little bit hot water, Kev.
Yeah, luckily it's not as bad as Henry Ruggs. I thought when I saw he was arrested, I thought it was going to be way worse. But also, I should have realized they didn't immediately announce what it was. So it couldn't have been that bad. Because if it was that bad, everyone would have already known what it was before he got arrested.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just glad no one died. And I'm glad that it's not an Earl Thomas situation where there's a warrant out for his arrest and no one can find him.
Oh man, it's gonna be. It's just it's a slow news day when it's something like this, and it's like at the top, it's like, oh my god, he got arrested. It's like, yeah, but it's not the craziest thing I've heard. It's not great, but it's not the most wild and out of control thing I've seen. So, yeah,
I mean, also though, anything with domestic violence.
Yeah, then once you see that word right there, it's kind of have to put it at the top of it.
For those who didn't see, it's second-degree criminal tampering and with a domestic violence enhancer, which is the weirdest fucking terminology I've ever heard. But maximum 120 days in prison. I think I saw $750 fine.
Jesus.
That can't be right. That's
gotta be a lot higher.
But the criminal or the domestic violence aspect might increase those penalties, and you rarely see jail time with those. Yeah, criminal tampering is a class 2 misdemeanor carrying up to 120 days in jail and or up to $750 in fines. But the domestic violence enhancer on Judy's charge is key as it would increase the potential punishment if convicted. That's from at Mace Denver, who has covered the NFL for 23 years.
Well, it's gonna be like it's always. You know what? It's interesting. It's like every time. This isn't the first time we've talked about a domestic violence investigation on the show, and it never gets any easier talking about it. You don't want to put your foot in your mouth or whatever, or say the wrong thing or have it heard the wrong way. Just hopefully this works out, and if he's guilty, he pays the price for it, and that's
all $750.
Jesus Christ. I think that's definitely a typo. It's gotta be like 750,000 or some shit.
No, because I saw a couple places say 750.
That's it, man. Colorado's a backwards ass state.
I'm just looking fine because
Okay.
we can keep talking. I can look it up and I can multitask.
Yeah, I'm just. You know what? You know what the craziest thing is about this time of year, Kev? It's like unless something crazy happens over the last like 24 hours, it's all just about talking like playoffs of sports. I generally don't really mention that much. And the fact that I watched a hockey game last night, well, one, I mean, also, if you guys know me, I'm like only a playoff hockey fan, and I fully admit it. I mean, lucky for me, my team's missed the playoffs once in the last 17 years. More than that, maybe? I'm not even sure. But
it's not more than that.
No, it was Crosby's rookie year. That was it.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's not more than that.
2005? Yeah, that's right. Damn,
So
I actually got the
17
math
years.
right. I got the math right. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's a miracle. That's a scary thing. I just got the math right. Last night, of course, you know, Kevin, unfortunately your Celtics caught 3-point lost by 3 to the Bucks and going 3-2 back to, I believe, Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yep, back to Milwaukee.
Do you give your boys a shot in this series?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why Marcus Smart's taking that last shot, by the way. That's going to bother me.
He's back to vintage Marcus Smart.
Like, he's been better at it, and it wasn't a 3-point attempt, so I'm okay with it to a point, but I don't know. I feel like last shot of the game, trying to win it, you're gonna give it to Brown or Tatum.
Fair. Are you more okay? So I'll ask you this, a Boston fan: are you more confident in the Celtics or the Bruins right now?
Celtics. They've looked better in the series
also,
consistently. The only issue with the Bruins is Giannis is allowed to run to the fucking lane like he's Derrick Henry hitting the hole, and if you breathe on him funny or he trips, it's a foul on you. Makes no sense. He's going to throw a shoulder into you, stiff arm you, slip, and then, that shooting foul. What are you talking about?
the NBA officiating. I don't think I've seen a sport yet this year where I don't look at the refs and just be like, what is the fuck wrong with you?
Baseball. Baseball's been worse this year.
No, I was going to say, I think every sport's been worse this year. Like, I have not seen a sport where the refs don't make me want to rip my eyelids backwards.
NHL is probably the best. They're not as bad.
Well, I think also for me, it's like, I know the base rules for hockey, so I can't really get too much into it. But baseball, basketball, and football, I grew up in. So it's like, for me, I know the rules almost inside and out. So when the refs make a ridiculous call, I'm the first one. You're like, what the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, I feel like officiating has gotten worse as time has gone on.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, because it's a thankless job. No one wants to do it, and these guys make it about themselves, so it just gets even worse.
Yeah, it fucking also, like the NFL, I know their rule book is extensive.
Yeah.
So they have like lawyers do it on their weekends pretty much. How about you just find some people and pay them to do it full time?
Yeah.
Give them like $100,000 a year.
They definitely could sacrifice for what, the 28, 30 refs, or no, they need 16 times 5 for the NFL. I think it's what, 5 refs or 4 refs per game.
I think 5.
Yeah. So, and then plus the replay guys, so 6. So 6 times 16. It's not that. It's not. It's less than a couple $1 million. I think they could do. I think they could be okay with it.
Yeah, they have 121 officials.
Yeah.
So, also, this can't be true. This is from the NFL itself. Game officials are typically accurate on 98.9% of calls. No,
according to who?
According to the NFL.
Oh my God, it's the same. They're like, according to the NFL, also the Ray Rice suspension was the Ray Rice suspension was the perfect amount, and Tom Brady deflating his balls was worse.
Oh, they have actually 24 full-time officials.
I'm guessing Hockley Jr. Who's the other one? I fucking
no.
Can't stand.
Hockley's first off, he's retired.
No, his son.
Oh,
Sean Hockley.
No. Wait, when is this from? So this is from. It doesn't have a fucking date on it. Of course
Oh,
not.
no, I like Steratore. Never mind. He's
The
retired now.
referees. I'm not going to get into like the umpires and the line judges and the side judges because they have a bunch of full-time guys doing that too. But Brad Allen, Walt Anderson, Jerome Bodger, Pete Morelli, and John Perry are all full-time.
Okay. I've heard about of 3 of those guys.
Honestly, if you don't know a ref's name, I think that's a good thing.
Well, I mean, like, there's
Outside
the
of
ones you know.
Hockley, because,
And
Ed
Steratore back when he was doing it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about current Hockley, because, like, his father and then those guys are all really famous for being good at their jobs. If you can watch an entire NFL game and go, I have no idea the name of any of the people who officiated this game, that's a good thing.
Fair. I look at it like from the standpoint, and the worst part is like, so in baseball, right? We grew up with Joe West, Jim Joyce. Even though Jim Joyce was honestly one of the best umpires in baseball until he screwed over Anibal Sanchez. But then you have Angel Hernandez, who basically should get Jameis Winston LASIK surgery because of how that man calls games.
And then he has the audacity to sue baseball for being racist by not putting him on big games. And then baseball comes to court like, this is how he does. Like, we're not putting him on a big game.
I think I saw him cover.
His main argument was, I'm one of the best umps. I'm 96% accurate on my calls. And baseball came is like, no, you're not. It's just not true. So I think every league, if you're not comfortable putting them in Game 7 of the World Series, Game 7 of the Finals, the Super Bowl, they shouldn't be a ref.
Or like they should be doing minor leagues at most.
Or just like not a head ref. Like
have
like a second base ump or something. You want to make an ump that, fine, whatever. And even then they can still fuck up, but
it's just stupid because I've watched, I think it was last year the Diamondbacks were playing and they had Hernandez as the home plate umpire. I'm like, oh, we're fucked. Like both teams, this is going to be a ridiculous game. Nothing's going to make sense. I'm going to be screaming at the television.
At least in Angel Hernandez's defense, he's just bad at his job.
Yeah.
It's not like a bias thing. He's not going into games like calling everything like down the middle every time it's a ball against one specific. No, it's not like Scott Foster and Chris Paul or Scott Foster and the Celtics.
The fact that Scott Foster's an NBA referee after all the shit we've seen is just, it bewilders me.
Yeah. I don't know what he has on Adam Silver.
He's got
like
something.
What dirt he has.
Oh, it's got to be something juicy because it's like there's no way in hell he's legitimately still keeping his job.
I need Tim Donaghy just to come out with a memoir.
Yes,
just name Scott Foster. He was the main guy.
Like we need like one of these like podcasts who lives on the edge a little bit. We need like a Barstool Pod or maybe like one of these other like sites. Maybe like I can't think of any other guys who like live on the edge who would go get a guy who's been convicted of gambling on NBA games. I'm trying to think of a pod who would do it.
A lot of podcasts would do that.
Not fair. I mean, would he want to talk? That's the other thing, is I feel like the NBA's got a sharpshooter pinned on his head half the time.
I mean, maybe when David Stern was in charge, but I think Adam Silver now isn't going to get someone murdered.
Is it bad I missed the Mafia bosses, David Stern and Bud Selig, because at least they ran the sport to be profitable?
Are you kidding me? Profits are up in every sport.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, profits are up in every sport because the TV deals are lucrative. The problem is the MLB, like, I swear... Well, Rob Manfred may be the dumbest human being I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I'm not talking about how the sports are run. I'm just saying they're profitable.
I'm just talking about like I at least Bud Selig looked like wanted the sport to be enjoyable. I mean, the whole steroid, which I think he was losing his marbles at that point. But like my biggest thing is like the whole thing about the tampered baseballs. I mean, it's clearly not affecting my team. We hit 3 home runs a game, but also our ballpark kind of helps that. But at the same time, it's the fact that that's even a story to me is ridiculous. I don't even know, like, that should be a bigger scandal, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, it's just baseball being baseball. Like, how the fuck is that supposed to be normal?
Yeah, I want to see some billionaire. Like, we have the XFL, the USFL. We have all these bullshit football leagues that are actually really fucking fun. I want to see some billionaire go, you know what? I'm starting a baseball league where everything goes.
Where steroids
Spider
are
tack,
legal.
steroids, juiced baseballs, all of it.
Right. Oh my god. I just what's what the best part is? I feel like if they even allowed certain things, like they even allowed substances similar to spider tack, and they like just left the baseballs unaltered, baseball would be so much fun. I forget who's who's anti-shift. Are you anti-shift or Samir anti-shift?
Samir's anti-shift. I'm pro-shift.
I'm anti-shift because I love the anarchy of it. That's it. I love the fact that like literally hitting a laser just hard enough between the shortstop and third baseman is a base hit, because that's just, it seems more fun. Like, yeah, what was it? Zach Gallen was pitching against Miami. It was 2-3 days ago, and he was throwing a gem, or maybe Merrill Kelly. He's one of our guys who has like a ridiculous ERA, and it was the first inning. And no, it was against the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon hits a single, and it just dribbles down the line. It's like a routine ground ball for any third baseman in any level of baseball. But because of the stupid fucking shift, it literally just kind of just walks away. Hey, look who's watching. Hey, buddy.
I mean, I'm not crazy. I'm not saying the shift didn't get ridiculous at points, but these guys are making, some of them are making tens of millions of dollars a year. I think they can spend time in the offseason learning how to lay down a bunt and get a little faster.
I saw Josh Rojas, who's a pretty got a lot of pop in his bat, literally lay down a running bunt for a base hit and an RBI. I was like, that's awesome. I fucking love that.
If you're using the shift, just do that. Oh, but they're pitching inside in 90, like at 90 miles per hour. Samir also has argued to me before, like, I was like, well, Ted Williams had to use the shift Ted Williams faced it in the 40s. It's not new. Yeah, the top power pitchers could barely reach 90. I was like,
except
the guy's name.
Except Bob Filler.
Yeah, Bob Feld. Who could pitch
and like Whitey Ford and Koufax.
Who could pitch like 98. Well, yeah, if you take the best power pitchers, they could do. You just said the best power pitchers couldn't do that.
My biggest thing is with like, the biggest things to me, I feel like it hamstrings the fielders more than anything else, because their instinct is to play the normal position. It's like, and what annoys, I wouldn't even mind the shift if you just kept them out of the outfield. If you just kept the guys restricted, like you could only have 3 guys in the outfield at once. Like if you slide everybody to one side of the infield, that's fine. But like nobody gets to go on the grass. That's where I could find a balance. I think we talked about this when we had Mike Berlon on last summer.
That would be so hard to officiate, because like, let's say the ball is hit and right as the pitch is going, a guy steps back in the outfield.
That's different.
Is that illegal?
At the throw of the pitch, that's it. Like once the pitch is released from the pitcher's hand, step wherever you want. I don't care.
You would start seeing pitchers figure out a pitch with the slowest windup ever.
Zach Greinke's eephus.
You'd have the fastest shortstop out there immediately sprint 15 yards into the outfield.
Running 15 yards backwards, straight back pedal. I honestly, if in an ideal world, I think the shift, I understand maybe shifting the second baseman or the shortstop a little over. It's like the center of the field. That's fine. But it's getting insane at this point. That's the way I look at it. It's like, to me, it's like, God damn, it's like insane. I don't like, and the problem is also it's the hitters. You're right. Like, so the Diamondbacks' top prospect got called up last week, right? Alek Thomas, and he's number 6 in Baseball America. Like, I actually legit stopped what I was doing to watch this kid's first 5 at bats, and Kevin's first 3 hits are all opposite field because he's reading the shift. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to hit the other way. First home run, first double, first single, all opposite field. I'm like, awesome. You know why? Use the fucking full field. A-Rod, when we were kids, Nomar, Jeter, all these guys used to hit the ball all over the fucking yard. Soriano, all of them did. And it's this new thing where it's just like strike out or swing for the fences. Everyone's just trying to slap the ball down the freaking line.
First off, I like how you mentioned Nomar before Jeter. Thank you for that. Second,
I love Nomar.
No, I know. I'm aware. I'm not saying
I had his signature batting gloves when he was a kid, man. I was a kid.
But so what you're saying is a rookie, who's making $7.25 an hour can learn how to hit the opposite way. But a guy making $20, $30, $40 million a year can't.
I think it's stubbornness for hitters. You might have a point on this, honestly. Like I want to go so what I've noticed is he's got happy feet in the box. That may attribute to why he's like hitting everything the opposite way, even like 90-mile-an-hour pitches. But at the same time, it's like I see guys like Joey Gallo literally their stance is open and they're just trying to crank it to the short porch and right. And it's just, to me, I'm just like why? Like, your strikeout numbers are down. It's trying to make contact, man. Shit. Like, one guy, and I keep bringing up my Diamondbacks, but Christian Walker, who's had the lowest batting average of any starter on our team for the last 4 fucking seasons, I think he had like a 5-hit game last week. And I'm like, because all he's just trying to do is just hit the ball hard anywhere. He's not trying to pull it. I think that's what a lot of these guys have to realize. Like, it's baseball at the end of the day. Hitting a ball is one of the hardest things to do in sports, period. Why not just try to make it simple or just try to make contact and hit as hard as you can? Fuck, it might go out of the yard. It may be in the gap, but still, you're getting your guys on base. I think the sabermetrics of everything, like I love things like WRC plus and like fielding metrics and shit like that. That I love. Even exit velocity, I'm starting to understand a little bit more. Shout out to the boys that listen to Just Baseball Pod. I know they're a baseball and also baseball daily here at Ballet Sports. MLB Daily, sorry. But Just Baseball, I actually found these guys on TikTok. I've gotten really into they go into sabermetrics a lot. And so I try to understand it. But it's like, to me, it's like, just make the contact, put the ball in play. It's how teams win games.
I have a question.
Okay. I may have an answer.
What did you not understand about exit velocity? What was the hold up there?
At first, I thought it was I thought it was only like estimated for home runs. I realized that's just for all contact, like off the bat. That was just a quick like switch.
Okay. Because in my mind, exit velocity is pretty self-explanatory.
It was a bad example, but I did bring it up.
Just wanted to make sure.
So shout out to Pat for bringing it back.
Ex-WOBA, where it's impossible to get your WOBA above your ex-WOBA.
That argument still, I never thought I was more drunk during a show than that show, because I was so fucking annoyed with Samir. I was like, just shut up, Kevin's goading you.
Yeah, it was fun. Also, though, but hitters against the shift now, it reminds me of the Simpsons meme with Principal Skinner. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. Like, oh, should I learn how to hit the other way? No, it's the shift that's wrong.
I also think the problem is like baseball for a stretch between I'd say mid 2010s and now everything's been just home run ball or strikeout. And now pitching got so good. What was it last year that we had like 17 no hitters last year?
Which is also absurd.
Well, I mean, listen, the Diamondbacks almost had 2 in the same day, if not for a bloop single. I think it was by Acuna or Ozzy Albies. Like, that's insane to me that, like, back-to-back, a one-hit shutout and a no-hitter in the same day. Like, but in a doubleheader.
Neither of those would have counted.
Which is fucking bullshit.
So stupid. If you're going to say you're only playing 7 innings and then a guy throws a no-hitter, just count it.
They would count it as a no-hitter if it was rained out at 7 innings, which is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I consider Mad Bum threw a no-hitter last year. Anybody else says otherwise, I will actually sock them in the face.
No, he did. And if they want to put an asterisk next to it, and like the record books, like, oh, he threw like a no-hitter during his career, asterisk, it was during like a 7-inning game because of COVID, fine, but count the no-hitter.
Yeah. It was a dumb rule they experimented with, the 7-7 rule, and it was dumb as shit. Now they're playing 9-9. Thank God. Also, Kev, what the fuck is up with our teams in the first month of the season?
Wow, a Rockies player can't hit for shit outside of Coors Field. Who could have seen this coming?
I wasn't going to say anything about the fact that literally his batting average versus home versus away was ridiculous. But at the same time with Trevor Story, it looks like he just looks spooked at the plate. He had 4 strikeouts on Wednesday night?
Probably. I don't watch.
My man's racking a golden sombrero every other night now. It's like, damn.
I fucking hate this. Like, give Xander whatever he wants. John Henry, stop being a cheap fuck. Just give Xander Bogaerts whatever he wants. Just give him and Rafi Devers a blank check. Whatever you think you're worth, just sign it. I don't care if you have to bankrupt Liverpool, the New York Times, and your NASCAR. Just give them whatever amount of money they want.
Well, if we ask my cousin, we should always invest in Formula One over NASCAR, but that's a whole other argument. I actually did enjoy the Miami race a little bit. That was actually kind of fun.
I didn't watch it.
I watched 6 laps. I'm like, I get why people love this. My biggest thing is like right now, it's like I was trying to tell. I think I had it was Samir's last show before he took his little hiatus. I told him, like, listen, like, don't be surprised with in regards to my team. It's like it's a bunch of young guys who like swinging away and a couple good starters. If we can figure the bullpen out, we'll win a couple of games. And then they're like, everyone's like, the Diamondbacks have won 15 of their last 20. What the fuck is happening? I'm like, their last series loss was to the Mets, and that was Mother's Day. That was Easter weekend. So they just swing away and they hit and they have good starters. They just need a better bullpen. And Mark Melancon needs to be designated. This dude blew 3 saves in the last 2 weeks.
Yes. I also want to complain about the baseball officiating again, because the other night the Red Sox lost 5-3, and the Braves got plus 2.2 runs based on bad umpiring.
It's the inconsistency drives me fucking nuts.
Luckily, the Sox won by like 5 the night before, because once again the Braves got plus 2 runs from bad officiating, and then only scored 1. Like, the bad officiating should have led to 2 more runs, which is how that's calculated, but it didn't, luckily.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing to me is also like it's been really quiet this year. The West Coast baseball's been quiet. Like we all, except for the Angels, which I am still amazed they're this good right now. Did you see who was it? The kid on Washington. He like check swinged a home run because they failed to call a pitch out, or he stepped out of the box and they didn't give it to him, so he check swinged a home run. It was the craziest thing ever. It was Soto. Juan Soto.
I wasn't sure if it was so, because I remember seeing that. I was
laughing. I'm like, like the physics of it are just impressive. Like the fact he check swinged a home run. That's awesome. I can't honestly argue.
Based on how officiating's gone this year, I'm shocked they didn't go, okay, nope, we're not giving you your step out. Right? Oh, wait, actually, yes, we are. That doesn't count.
That would have pissed me off. You know what's crazy? I'm looking at the standings right now. There's only one division where every single team is over 500. It's the NL West.
The NL West, yeah.
NL West. The last place team, the Colorado Rockies, are 16-15, and then the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Dodgers and Padres are all separated by less than 4 games.
You just mentioned the Rockies twice, by the way.
Sorry. The Giants, Diamondbacks, Padres, and Dodgers are all separated by less than 4 games, which I think is awesome. Just, I love how crazy. Also, how the fuck are the Mets this good?
They spent a shit ton of money.
But here's the thing. It's like, but their bullpen's not great, and their hitting's been inconsistent. Pitching, I guess, that kind of solved my own question there.
If hitting's not good and their bullpen kind of sucks, that leaves starting pitching and defense.
True. 2 things they're actually very good at. Or, it could be worse, Kevin. We could be Reds fans. Shout out to Mike Burlon.
Dude, I want to see the dude shit in the tundra.
I do too.
I'm so pissed they canceled that game.
You know what the worst part is with the Reds, apparently they're going to trade their 2 great starters now. And I'm like looking, I'm like, hey, Derek Hall, pick up the phone. I want Luis Castillo and Sedona Red by the end of the week. Like, let's do this. We got enough prospects. Like, move them. Oh, we also need a freaking closer because, god damn it. Like, we need Ian Kennedy. Yes, that Ian Kennedy closing games for us for about a week because Mark Melancon couldn't stop giving him home runs.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds are just trying to cut as much cost as possible. They can sell the team for cheap.
Well, you know what the worst part is? There's like 3 franchises where it's like, where's the hope for these fan bases? It's the Pirates, it's the Reds, and it's the freaking what was the other one? The A's, who somehow have 13 wins. I don't know how, because they had 3,000 people total show up to the Coliseum for a game.
Yeah, So I can kind of understand the A's not wanting to spend a lot of money because they're in a football stadium.
Yeah, I understand. Like, the fact is, the city of Oakland has basically been giving them the middle finger for the past decade and a half.
And you'd think they'd go, oh shit, we just lost the Warriors and the Raiders. We need to keep at least one team.
I figured that this wouldn't be if you told me what California city would basically sink itself sports wise, my first guess was not going to be Oakland, but yeah, it's Oakland.
I think that would have been mine.
I feel like the thing is, like, I would have thought like maybe like LA would have lost a team, but then they got two NFL teams in LA buzzing. It's buzzing. Like, they just got a Super Bowl.
Well, yes, but I don't think they were ever close to losing every team. I think
it's true. And also the
Giants
have like a cult following in San Francisco. It's impressive. Like,
what happens when you win 3 Super Bowls every other, or not Super Bowls, 3 World Series every other year.
Like, the only team in my division whose stadium I want to go to, besides of course Chase Field, is I want to go to San Francisco. I don't want to go to San Francisco as a city. I refuse to, but I will go see a game at that stadium.
If only you could go to the stadium with just helicopter in.
Yeah, airdrop in, land. Listen, I will not go to Chavez Ravine wearing any Diamondbacks gear because I will get jumped. That is the most dangerous parking lot I've ever seen. Like, I've heard so many stories from like NL West fans of like Dodgers fans jumping people in the parking lot. And I'm like, I'm an Eagles fan and we don't even do that. We just yell at you and call you an idiot.
Eagles fans do that.
We don't. No, I have never heard of an incident where an Eagle where like guys got jumped and assaulted to the point of a coma, like that Giants fan did. Like, Dodgers fans are scum. Like, that's what it is. But that's also personal vendetta. But
oh wait, no, sorry. The Eagles wait until they get into the link to start fights.
Exactly.
Unless you're Mike Scott, then Eagles fans will just accost you on the street.
Well, if you're Mike Scott, you're an idiot because, yes, you may be a fan of another team, but like, you should know how rough Philly fans are. You're just a dumb shit. You walked into that one. I'm sorry. Like, the Mike Scott situation, like, I talked to a couple of my buddies who work in like local Philadelphia market media, and they also said the same thing. Like, dude, like, the fact is Mike Scott was asking like to like get like the attention was there. He could have easily sidestepped it and just showed up wearing like all plain clothes and maybe like a Washington hat on backwards. But the dude was decked out in Washington gear and then just started and like was not backing down from shit. I'm like, I don't expect him to back down. But then it's like, dude, you know what you're signing up for. Like, I've had friends who are like, yo, I'm going to wear the opposing team to Philly. I'm like, don't. Just don't. They're like, why? I'm like, because you're not an idiot. Me and Maserati, friend of the show, like one of the guests of the show, me and him were in Philadelphia, walking from the main gate to our seats. We saw like 7 Washington fans. Okay, so I will say this though. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I was there. There were Washington fans there, and like the Eagles fans were like kind of leaving them alone. Like, they didn't care. Like, there was guys in line. Like, one of them bought a couple of Eagles fans.
Were the
beers.
Eagles winning?
Pregame.
Okay, never mind then.
I think also with Washington and Philadelphia, there's like not a lot of hatred there. It's just kind of like we look at Washington like, oh, it's really sad.
Yeah, I feel like Eagles and Washington are like, oh, we're in the same division, so fuck you. But you're not the Cowboys or the Giants.
Yeah,
like
Giants,
Washington Cowboys are bigger rivalry. Eagles Cowboys.
I think we hate the Saints more than we hate the Washington football team. Honestly, like I've seen like a Saints fan get thrown over a row of seats, like just shocked at an Eagles game. So I'm like, okay, like, but the thing is also the Saints and Eagles. Every game is fucking rough. There's a lot of bad blood. No, because every playoff game, there's a lot of bad blood off field.
Oh no, I'm not talking about games being chippy. I never got going to a game going, oh, if I see one of these fans, I'm gonna fucking.
Also, well, come on. we also know Saints fans are delusional and I wouldn't say entitled. That's more Cowboys fans, but they're like, they think they're tough shit, and then they see an Eagles fan who will literally like just rip their arms off like a Wookiee. So it's
and I'm not saying just from the Eagles. Like I don't get it from.
Well, it's like so weird because like I've been at games with like so it's weird. Like so with Jets fans, when I went to an Eagles Jets game in MetLife, Jets fans are tough motherfuckers. Those dudes will literally attack like in swarms on opposing fans if there's a fight. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're Jets fans.
Yeah, well, Jets fans are nuts. Giants fans are calm, which is like they're like an angry calm, which is kind of unsettling. Cowboys fans are just as rowdy as Eagles fans in the stands. It's bad. Those games get rough.
This might be wrong, but when I think of Jets fans, I think of people like from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like loyal to a fault.
My newest co-host Matt, who's a season ticket holder, he's coming on the show. I think next week he starts. He just started working for Metro North. He's an inspector for them, and he said, "Listen, I couldn't do this week. I had to work overtime." I'm like, it's fine. But I said, "Listen, season ticket holder, as a Jets fan, you're gonna get some shit from some of the guys." And he goes, "That's totally fine." But it's.
All right, I'm gonna finish my point now.
Sorry.
So when I think of Jets fans, I think of like, and this might be wrong, like from one of the boroughs, like they either grew up in New York or like their family was from there and then they moved there. When I think of Giants fans, I just think of people from like Long Island.
See, I met more Jets fans on Long Island than Giants. Giants,
it might be wrong. It might just
North
be like
Jersey. North Jersey's a lot of Giants fans. North Jersey's a lot of Giants fans.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, I hate North. Half my family's from North Jersey, and I walk around with the Eagles fan in like my Eagles gear proudly. But North Jersey is a strange place for just football fandom alone, because you see Jets and Giants fans, but then you see the Eagles fans like simmering through. It's kind of like how like up here you have like a weird influx of Steelers fans, along with Patriots and Giants and Jets.
I think Steelers is weirder than Philly fans in New Jersey.
In North Jersey. South Jersey, it's 90% Eagles fans.
Yes, the South Jersey. But like, you know, people like they'll move away from home, but they'll stay in state because they have like state loyalty. So I can see like people being influenced, like they have family or something from South Jersey and they're Philly fans. That's why. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck are you a Steelers fan in New England unless when the Patriots sucked, your dad was like, I'm going to be a Steelers fan because they have the steel curtain and Terry Bradshaw. And
yeah, I mean, like I've always wanted to ask. So, like my neighbor, his wife is a diehard Steelers fan. Like she'll text me talking shit if the Steelers and Eagles are playing. And so I've always wondered why, because her family's from Connecticut. I never got it, but her dad's old enough where he would be a fan during like the Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert days, which makes sense. Or Jack Ham. One of them played for the Patriots. One of them played for the Steelers. I was messed them up. But I will say this though, Kevin, we're gonna play a little game right now because I'm schedule's getting released today. Even though I knew half of these games already because of everyone with the schedule leaks, and the fact is like half of them were actually right. Even though like that thing you sent me about like the fake schedule,
that was great. For those who didn't see it, someone made an account at NFL Schedule Leaks, got 10,000 followers, and they were just making shit up all day.
It was hysterical. I actually wouldn't follow the page for about like an hour. It was awesome.
It was the highlight of my day, probably. It was so funny.
Oh my god. I was during my pre-workout at the gym. I'm literally reading. I'm like, this is awesome because I know all these aren't happening, but it's great to see. The fact that so they did release the Thanksgiving games though. Our shout out to our boy Jeffrey for sharing that in the corner booth chat. I believe he posted it. Yeah, it was the night game is it's Patriots Vikings, which is just I'm trying to get the game. I don't get the matchup, but I guess it's okay. I mean, hey, your Patriots get to play on Thanksgiving. I call it the Marcus Clem Bowl. That's what.
Fair. I mean, yeah, that's going to be fun. Also, I get Black Friday off at my current job, which is nice. I have not gotten that before.
Oh, I love having Black Friday. I just if I have a chance, I always just take it off. It's like a vacation day because I'm never home anyway.
Yeah, like I don't get companies that don't give it off.
Yeah, true. I mean, my next
Like
job
I
might not give it to
understand
me off.
if Thanksgiving is one of those holidays, like the day of the week changes. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's like November 25th. It's not
Mhm.
like the fourth Thursday in November, third Thursday in November.
Mhm.
Then I would be like, okay, it kind of makes sense because like if it's a Monday, you're not just going to also give a random Tuesday off. But it's Thursday every year. Do you think anyone is going to be productive coming into work the day after gorging themselves with turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and drinking a shit ton of beer while watching football all day?
There was one day I was actually productive on Black Friday. It's because I worked at Champ Sports. That was my senior year of college. I think I told you about this. I literally had to be at Champs at 6 a.m. on that Friday. That was brutal.
Retail jobs, it sucks, but I get why they make people work.
I
on
made
Black Friday.
bank that day on commission. I made bank.
You got commission
As a sneaker salesman, yeah.
Fuck.
It was only like if I sold a pair of Jordans, I make like $10, but still, like that's great.
So on like Black Friday,
I actually didn't sell that much. I got assisted commission or some shit. I don't remember what the old policy was, but like I would show them up and they had cashiers running it constantly. So I feel like sometimes I would not get it. The best commission day I ever got though was New Year's Eve. I broke a store record for sales.
Jesus.
In a 5-hour shift, I sold almost 24 pairs of sneakers and I sold over $5,000 worth of apparel in a 5-hour shift.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, there was one kid who I basically sold about $1,500 worth of shit to him.
Still.
3 pairs of Jordans, a pair of Air Force One low tops, basic white girl shoes, and I call them Becky's at this point. And like 2 or 3 a hoodie or 2 pair of shorts. And this kid just walked in, dropped a platinum card on the table. I'm like, I got a boat here. Just swiped it. I'm like, yeah, bro. But Black Friday, it's gonna be interesting. The other one is I love is Giants Cowboys. We get on Thanksgiving. I love that. One of the few times a year I root for the New York Giants is against the Dallas Cowboys. And so congratulations, Giants fans. I'll be rooting for you on Thanksgiving. Because I can't root for a cancellation of a game.
I mean, you can.
Or a tie. Shout out to the Chargers and Raiders.
See, so every year I root for the Cowboys early in the season.
Yeah.
And because if by week 8 they're 8-0, that's the best case scenario for me. Because then I want them to lose the next 8 or 9 games. The collapse is
the Ryan Walters paradox. That's what we called it.
Twitter would be so fun.
Oh my god. Anytime the Cowboys go on a losing streak and just do a collapsing and choking, also because Skip Bayless's reactions every week on Undisputed are his. Also, Stephen A with the cowboy hat, Shannon Sharp just making jokes. It's always just great to see it. I really love it. But the first game, we get Josh Allen versus Jared Goff, Lions Bills. Now, this game is probably gonna be a blowout. But we get to see my favorite human being on the planet, Kevin. Motor City Dan Campbell, brother. Like, this man. Okay, so this leads me into my next thing, Kevin, is we're going to list off our top 5 favorite things we're excited for the NFL season. I'll go with my first 5, so you can give a second to get yours. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills with an actual running back. They got James Cook, and I actually love his tape. He fits their system perfectly. He falls forward for yardage. That's the most Buffalo thing I've ever seen. Number 4, these rookie quarterbacks. I want to see if Malik Willis beats out Tannehill in training camp. I want to see if Desmond Ridder beats out Merrick. I want to see if one of these guys actually starts and plays well besides Kenny Pickett. Because, our boy Sawyer is going to be having a brain aneurysm if freaking Kenny Pickett beats out the MVP for the starting job in Pittsburgh.
Fair. I think Matt Corral, if his ACL heals well, I could see him taking the starting job from Sam Darnold.
It was his ankle, I thought. I didn't think he tore his ACL.
I thought it was his ACL. He
rolled his ankle badly, but it wasn't nothing was torn. I think, what's so funny is the fact that the only quarterback who, like, the two quarterbacks who may start is Corral and Pickett. When Pickett's going to start, I mean, actually, if Mr. Trubisky is a great camp, Pickett may not start, which I would find hysterical. Because
It doesn't matter. Both of them are upgrades over Big Ben.
Oh, I know. Especially the last 2 years.
Yeah, in like the end of his career. I'm not talking like Mitch Trubisky and
obviously.
Pickett now are better than like 2005 Big Ben. No.
I never got you on the show for the draft, though. Who is your favorite quarterback out of this class?
Matt Corral, I think, honestly.
So you're in my camp too, then.
Yeah, I mean, arm strength is hit or miss. Sometimes he overthrows it by a mile. Sometimes he underthrows it by a mile.
But
so that's an arm strength. That's touch and accuracy. But
yeah,
it is, and he underthrows it more consistently. But everything else is pretty good, and I think he can grow to be a really good quarterback.
I also love his attitude. I love the fact that he's got like a chip on his shoulder. He's on a redemption story. Because, I mean, like, the dude who had, like, alcohol abuse problems and got it together. Also, anybody who takes a swing at Wayne Gretzky's kid is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, also, fuck Wayne Gretzky for getting his scholarship.
The third best player in the NHL history.
That's just not true.
It's an inside joke at McAfee that we make, at the McAfee show fans we make, because 1 is Crosby, 2 is Lemieux, 3 is Gretzky. Just to piss off NHL fans, because that's just fun. I said that at a sports bar once, and somebody's like, you either listen to McAfee or you're just an asshole. I'm like, both.
I could give you Lemieux at 2.
Okay, listen, you got knocked though. Sidney Crosby, 3 titles. He's arguably one of the top 5 best point scorers of all time in the NHL.
Oh,
I'm minimum top 5.
Not top 5. I'm saying I don't think he's top 3.
Oh, my dad's pulling out bottles of Patron. This is scary.
I would go probably. I don't even know if I'd go Lemieux top 3.
I think Lemieux, his biggest issue was just the end of his career. The injuries just fucking killed him.
Yeah, I think Lemieux. You could make an argument for Lemieux being top 3. I'm not saying he's definitely not. I'm not saying Crosby's definitely not. My top 3 are Gretzky, Howe, or
the Gordie Howe hat trick is my favorite thing of all time.
Did you know he only got like 4 of those too?
But listen, he coined the term. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, and also part of the reason, like, Gordie Howe is great. Part of the reason he's so highly rated is because he played fucking forever.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, I love Bobby Orr. I love watching highlights of him. Like, listen, as much as people don't think I'm a hockey fan, watching hockey highlights is actually pretty fucking awesome. And I love how you never see goalies in the top 5 of all time. I mean, I get it's a whole different position, but like where would you put Patrick Roy or Martin Brodeur of all time goalies? But the same, or Hendrik Lundqvist or any of these guys. But my biggest thing is that I put Crosby that high because if he wins another title this year, which, I mean, if they can put away, like, they're going to have to play Carolina, which is going to fucking suck. But the fact of the matter is that, like, Crosby all time, like, everyone was like, oh, Ovechkin's going to catch him. I was like, no, Ovechkin's a great scorer, man. But, like, something to be said, like, as much as people hate on Crosby for, like, some of his, like, soft boy antics, like, he still is one of the greatest hockey players ever to walk the earth, talent-wise.
The problem with Crosby is I don't know if he can play another 5 years at this level.
No, he's got 3. He's
or
retiring.
Anywhere close to this level because of the concussion issues. He's probably going to get another one because he's had a bunch already.
He'll retire by 2025. I will tell you that right now. But the thing is, that's all he needs to do because he'll still be top 5 all time with 1 more title if he retires tomorrow. I mean, at the end of the season, in my book. Because the thing is, like, with Crosby, yes, there's a little fan bias because he got me loving hockey with Sidney Crosby. That's why everyone's like, dude, don't get a Crosby jersey. I'm like, I kind of have to because he's my favorite player. It's like, listen, I love Yenny Malkin. Yenny Malkin's a fucking animal. I've loved him since he snuck over here from Russia. I love Martin Letang. I loved Paul Martin. Shout out to my he's related to my uncle, by the way. I loved Marc-Andre Fleury and Matt Murray until they both dipped. Like, the only thing would have made this year better is if we somehow got Marc-Andre Fleury is like on like a deal just to be a backup behind our 2 backup goalies who are just honestly playing great, except for this game against the Rangers. I don't want to talk about it. I was so mad when I woke up this morning. How do we go from football to hockey?
I don't know. I have one more point about Crosby.
Okay, make it.
I don't know if he's top 5, actually.
We'll see.
Right now. I'm not saying he won't be.
If he doesn't win another title, he's not. I think at the best he's 5.
Because he's 22nd in points.
Mm-hmm.
He's I don't even know how far down he is on this one. He's not top 20 in goals. Assists. I'm looking at the stats right now. He is 21st in goals, or in assists rather, sorry. And he is nowhere near the top for Stanley Cups.
But
even if you take out Canadians players. Because they have a bunch.
Because those was pre 1970 something that like the Canadians won like 12 titles or something like that.
From 1955 to 1973, they won 11 Stanley Cups.
That sounds like Alabama in modern college football.
Yeah, it's absurd.
My grandmother bought me a. Oh, my grandmother
52.
bought. Oh, so yeah, 52. What?
They have 12.
Okay. My grandmother bought me a Montreal Canadiens polo. I wore it once. It felt ugly. I took it off. Refused to wear it.
Yeah, I hate the Canadians.
I hate Canadians. Not a big. The only hockey team from Canada I'll root for is I don't mind the Canucks.
I hate the Canucks.
I know why you hate the Canucks.
Dean sisters fucking blow.
Yeah. All right. So back to the NFL. My number 3 thing I'm looking forward to the most is all these new receivers in these new spots. So I want to see Tua, and listen. I'm defending Tua here, Kevin. I want you to hold off on your heart attack. The post they posted with Tua throwing the ball to Tyreek. Who fucking cares? It's training camp. Tua and Tyreek. I want to see Devontae Adams and his boy Derek Carr. I want to see AJ Brown with his homie Jalen Hurts. I want to see all these new quarterbacks with the new receivers. I want to see how they do because it was a crazy offseason. All these new moves, all this new stuff. I want to see all of how it affects the game passing wise. Number 2, I kind of alluded to this already. I want to see Jalen Hurts, who is one of the most competitive human beings I've ever seen wear an Eagles uniform. This is make or break for him. Because the Eagles have already, it's not a secret. They have 2 first-round picks next year. They'll move them up to go get your boy Bryce Young or Tyler Van Dyke or CJ Stroud. They don't fucking care.
Watch them draft Will Levis out of Kentucky.
I will fucking have a stroke.
The projected number 1 overall pick by CBS
That
Sports.
was the dumbest. Okay. I did like the Zion Nelson being a top 10 pick because he is an amazing offensive lineman, and I do like Tyler Van Dyke, but Tyler Van Dyke's staying another year. You were right. I think Van Dyke will go one more year at Miami, especially if they have a rough season this year, even though I think they're going to have an amazing year. But Jalen Hurts made a huge leap from 2020 to 2021. And now that he's got his best friend, apparently self-described best friend, AJ Brown, he's got he's got Devontae Smith for another year. Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal, they're going to get that ball-dropping jackass Jalen Reagor out of there. Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders is healthy. Kenneth Gainwell is healthy. It's like, Jalen, you've got a loaded offense. Do something with it. So I'm excited to see what the Eagles do, and also the fact that they might get James Bradbury makes me very excited because that defense looks scary if they get Bradbury. Number 1, though, Kevin, this one's easy. Hard Knocks. I get 5.5 hours of uninterrupted Motor City Dan Campbell. Douche, biting kneecaps and cursing and yelling. And, I'm waiting for him to jump into an Oklahoma drill with no pads on. I am ready for this. The fact of the matter is the NFL needs to look at guys like Dan Campbell, head coaches like him that are a little kooky. The fact that they, make fun of guys like him and the guys like Sirianni and all these weird coaches that aren't like the McVay and Kyle Shanahan types or Kingsbury, where they're good-looking offensive gurus. Listen, McVay gets my respect. He got a Super Bowl. Kingsbury only has a job because his team made the playoffs this year. I'm not sure how much longer Shanahan's got. Because if Shanahan keeps blowing these like playoff wins, I don't know how much longer they're going to be like, John Lynch is going to be like, dude, you can't win the big game. Like, we're done. But Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions Hard Knocks. Also, the fact is, like, one, you get Jameson Williams. By the way, I was mad about that for about 20 minutes, and then the Eagles went and got AJ Brown, so I was okay with it. Jameson Williams, DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a good receiving core. Jared Goff's redemption. It's another story right there. And then you have that young defense with all these good players led by Aiden Hutchinson. And the fact of the matter is like, unless you're a Packers, Bears, or Vikings fan, why wouldn't you root for the Lions? They're the lovable losers. There's so much. Like, watch if the Lions were able to make the playoffs, it should be fucking amazing. They'd be the team to break the Hard Knock curse, and that's why I'm excited for this year of Hard Knocks. Like, I already have my HBO Max. I have it saved, and they don't even have it ready yet. I just have the whole Hard Knocks, like all the seasons saved. So when it pops up, I will watch it right there.
I think John Lynch is also probably on the chopping block this year if they don't do well. After he essentially talked Kyle Shanahan into Trey Lance, John Lynch might be done. But
guaranteed.
Top 5. I have them in mind. I just don't know where I want to rank them.
Just, you don't have to rank them in order if you don't want to. I came up with the idea while we were talking in our last segment about the NFL schedule. So I figured like I would give you like some leeway here.
JMO comeback.
Yes.
If that man is ready to hit the ground running. His rehab's going phenomenally according to reports. He is going to I think this might be a bit much. I think he does have a chance to help revitalize Jared Goff's career. I know you mentioned the Lions already and talked about it, but I think a guy like Jameson Williams is someone who has the skill set necessary to make a quarterback look fucking phenomenal. And I think he will do that.
I heard, so his pro comp was a taller, more physical Deshaun Jackson. And I literally had a mental football breakdown. Like, that's awesome. Like, D Jackson's two biggest problems were his height and his physicality, because he couldn't stay healthy. But if JMO is that, oh my God. Joining us now, a man coming out of retirement from podcasting. This man retired from 2 podcasts, said he's wanted to enjoy his free time, but he's jumping on for the last half hour here because he's announcing his return to podcasting eventually. Mr. JD Davis.
Call me Tom Brady, baby. I'm back. I just can't make up my mind. I don't know what to do with my time.
I think your retirement lasted longer than Tom's, though.
It actually did, because he texted me on January 12th that he was calling it quits for a little while, and then he announced his retirement from his movie pod. Yeah, so your retirement.
Taking time, to spend time with the family,
Drank excessively. Yeah,
I
know.
Be a 23-year-old. We get it, dude. We all did the
24 now. 24 now. I turned 24.
Fucking old.
Ago. I'm old now.
I'm only a year and a couple months older than you.
I am 2 3/4 years away from being 30, guys. That's the scary part.
That's disgusting. Number 4, though, Derrick Henry comeback season.
Okay.
I know he came back to the playoffs, but a full offseason, taking time off, that's going to help him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Tua proving the haters wrong.
Listen, I appreciate the fact that you are sticking to your guns. I respect it.
That video was a dumb post. I don't know why they posted it. Quarterbacks have bad throws in training camp even. It's not uncommon. No one posts them, though, so no one knows about it.
Training camp means bullshit. Jalen Reagor was the best receiver in Eagles training camp last year. I want you all to remember that.
So it doesn't matter. And then Tyreek also tweeted out a montage of the great or the good throws that Tua had. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. Fucking fastest offense in the league. Let's go. That was 3. Number 2.
This is it.
Bill Belichick proving people wrong and Cole Strange being a Pro Bowler in his rookie year.
Logan Mankins 2.0. Literally just everyone's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's going to be great. Taekwondo, I'm talking myself into this. It's no longer Cole Strange and the multiverse of Kevin offing himself. It's talking myself into Strange.
Kevin, we get an article titled that, please?
I like that.
I'll think about it. And and Tyquan Thornton, I'm talking myself into that pick too. I don't like just drafting fast receivers. Like, oh, like what can he do? Is he
Going
good
full
runner?
Al Davis.
Fast? Okay, like did he catch? No, he's just fast. Like, well,
That
okay,
always
he might
works
not.
out. The John Ross effect.
Like his quarterback, did he throw into tight windows
But
and like
They
those
drafted
just
John Ross.
No,
at
he just
7.
dropped it, but he's fast. But I don't want that guy, but I'm talking to myself into it. It's gonna go great.
Okay,
Bill
so
saw something, and Bill we trust.
Okay, so here's the deal with Tyquan Thornton, right? I don't hate the draft pick because besides Watson and Sky Moore and Pickens, like once you get past that, it's like Tyquan Thornton's like, it's not a bad draft pick. It's like, dude's a missile. And it's like Bill would find a way to like, oh look, now everyone's fucking hopping on and a half hour left. Fucking cruise.
Don't you forget who came on in your hour of need.
Kevin, I will never forget you that you came on, help me out, buddy, and the fact that you dealt with me literally texting you all about the anger and the pissiness and the fact I was annoyed as fuck all day. Because here's the thing. It's not the fact that, like, JD, I appreciate you coming out of retirement just for this. It's the fact that I had 4 people cancel on me since I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. I was that fucking mad about it.
See, I don't cancel. I'm honest.
You just don't show up
I'm
at
not.
all.
Well, last time I told you I couldn't come, you're like, I'm just assuming you can't come. And I'm like,
Well, I
thought
plus
you wanted
okay.
to know.
I was
and then
a
this
little
time
okay.
you're like, I'm waiting. Nobody's answering me. I'm like, last
I
time
literally,
answered,
I
you
was a
yelled at me.
little okay. So to in my credit, I have been a little going through a little bit trying to keep this afloat. Okay,
I
because
know, I
Samir had to
understand that.
Samir
I
had to
appreciate
step
that.
down because of his like schedule. He's coming back. My buddy Matt could not join until next week because of his new job, so he's joining the fold. Savannah is about as consistent as Jameis Winston throwing accurate passes. But you know, when she's good here, she's good, and she brings in views. It's fine. But the issue is, and Kevin does his own show, I never bother him unless I need his help. So you know what? I've been managing, and despite my death threats from despite my death threats from Mike Burlon telling me not to steal Mookie from him, I've been managing. So besides that, I don't blame you. I did make a joke because I've texted you twice in my hour of being. You said you're going to see a movie with your dad or your friends, and I was in a bad spot. So I may have hit you.
Podcast. I still like movies.
I may have hit you with a comeback or two that was a little rough. It's okay.
No, it really wasn't. I
almost told literally today a woman told me to stop dropping F-bombs in public. I almost told her to stop breathing. So it's like I get a little rough when I get.
And number 1, McCorkle, year 2. Let's go. Also, JD, I noticed how you didn't say anything until like, yeah.
Well, I mean, the other day I tried to say something beforehand. I had about 6 Celtics fans bite my head off. I'm like, okay, I'm just texting.
There's only 2 Celtics fans in that chat.
Samir gets a little hostile, okay?
I don't know the other dude, but he was clearly on Team Celtic.
That's Maserati.
Oh, that was Maserati?
Is he a Brooklyn fan?
He's a Brooklyn fan, but he's
I don't know, but in that moment he seemed pretty on Team Celtic. But I thought he was a Celtics fan. I got that vibe. But yeah, Samir came at me hard, and hey, I love it. I love the passion. But that was my cue to be like, all right, we're not going to live text the games, I guess. I had to give you guys shit because I took shit when they lost.
Listen, I was okay with. Listen, I love the fact that the podcast and chill chat keeps rolling along, and now it's up to like 7 or 8 members. This is great.
I would also like to point out these playoffs have made Giannis so unlikable.
It made me want to basically throw everything at the Memphis Grizzlies fans, but that's just my personal opinion. But no, I agree. Like the fact is, like the refs have been giving Giannis a lot of calls.
Are you kidding me?
JD, every time he drives, he stiff arms someone.
Kevin. He gets fouled.
JD,
he's so contact and stiff arm, that's not getting fouled. That's you hitting someone.
Him and John Morant are 2 of the best actors I've ever seen.
You're saying Giannis Antetokounmpo is the actor in this series? Seriously?
I'm not saying he's the actor. I'm saying he's the one who's driving down the lane. I'm not saying he's flopping.
He's leading the NBA in the most offensive fouls ever in a series. So they're getting the calls. So, like, I don't know why you're upset. He has 17 offensive fouls in this series. That's the most ever. And we're not like, he is getting, like, you are getting offensive calls left and right.
The problem is,
he goes like a bat out of hell. but a lot of the times that means contact one way or the other. It does, and they're getting the offensive call. So I can't imagine being upset about the referee.
How many drives has he had though?
How many drives has he had?
How many times a game do you think he takes the ball and just sprints down the lane into someone?
25 times?
Also, let's be honest, he does get an extra step because he's so fucking long. He's basically Gumby as a basketball player.
I don't complain about the travel like my dad was. I don't complain about that because that's so hard to call on him because he can take 2 steps from the 3-point line and he's at the restriction arc thing right into the basket. I forget what it's called, but
yeah, he can shoot a layup taking off from 3.
So it's so hard to call. I'm not going to complain about the travel. The potential travel on him. Like if they miss a travel on him, it's not the end of the world because it's probably not a travel, just how long his fucking legs are.
And joining us now is a man who ignores my text messages, is a disgruntled Saints fan, and I will not insult him any further. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the Oxcord podcast with my good friend Nick Perkins, Mr. Cruz Oxenrider. Cruz, what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Well,
I return your text.
No, you don't. I literally am staring at the fact that you ignored my text message from May 4th.
May 4th.
Jared, now you know how I felt this entire time.
But he likes me more than you. What do you want me to tell you?
Wait, what?
That's fair. He still hasn't invited me on his podcast.
I didn't even know you were.
I've been on twice.
Pre-draft, a pre-draft Twitter space on Stephen Shea's Twitter space, and all of a sudden I heard Cruz. I'm like, I know him.
Yeah, Stephen Shea doesn't really care for me that much because I'm a Saints
I imagine. Guy. Yeah, you were definitely Saints centric.
But we actually met in New Orleans for Final Four, working the Barstool event. He's actually a really nice guy. And then
I like Shea.
And then once he found out who I was, and he like jokingly gave me shit. I think I know Brandon Walker hates me. I know that.
I think there's a lot of Saints.
Brandon Walker hates a lot of people.
I mean, that's fine. He has bad hair, so it's okay. And he went to a shit SEC school.
Cruz, I do have to. We'll get to. I want to ask you a couple of Barstool questions in a minute. We won't affect your employment too much. It's okay. So we won't go full length, but me and Kevin did our top 5 things we're excited for. My number 1 thing was Dan Campbell. Hard Knocks is just going to be electrifying, and also I'm excited for Jalen's Prove It tour. If he's going to really prove it, or if it's going to be like us drafting Bryce Young or Tyler Van Dyke next year.
Have you guys given your full top 5 yet?
We did.
Okay. In no particular order. 1 is the Tua tour. I want to see. I think this is maker. I saw it, the same thing with Jalen. I think Tua. I want to see if Miami gives him what he needs to win, or if he takes the Drew Brees route, goes to a different team, and succeeds there, which I think is very. I actually tweeted it yesterday. I think the national media with the Tua hate is just kind of lazy and uneducated with what he's had around him. I think if Justin Herbert was in the same situation that Tua was in a Miami, we wouldn't hear like a peep of this shit.
I also think if Tua went to Los Angeles, which is where I said he should have gone, I think he would have been having a solid career so far.
I do too, because there's a lot of weapons, good offensive line, and I just think Los Angeles, the Chargers, they're always going to be San Diego to me. I think like the Chargers have done what they needed to put Justin Herbert in winning situations. Like their defense is going to be disgusting this year,
especially planning an assassination attempt on Tyrod Taylor.
Yes. And then you add to the offensive line, you add to the defensive line, you have good wide receivers. They just play in the hardest division of football.
Right.
So I can't wait to see Tua. I think he's going. It's just hard because they're in such a tough division with New England. The Jets got better. The Bills are my Super Bowl favorite right now. I have them winning the AFC. I think they're the best team, top to bottom, in football right now. If you look at their roster.
JD, what's one thing you're hyped for in the NFL right now? Like this upcoming season. Let's try to make these fast, boys. We're on the clock.
Yeah.
Like everybody, aren't we all just excited to see how many games our franchise quarterback is suspended? I know I am.
I'm ecstatic.
That's my biggest hype going into the season.
I'm going 10.
How many?
I'm going to go 8. I'm going to go 8.
I'm going to go 10.
All I know
Cruz,
is
you said 6 when he was going to the Saints in your eyes.
Oh, that was me being like a delusional Saints fan. No, he's getting. There's no way.
No.
Alvin Kamara is getting 6 games, and he didn't do. He got in trouble once, and then you get Deshaun Watson doing an unspeakable.
But
things.
he's not been.
Cruz,
But he's not
that's
been
that's a
charged
good
for
point,
anything.
actually. Deshaun Watson 4-game suspension incoming.
Four.
Right now?
Yeah,
Because
because
it's the NFL.
Cruz, like Alvin Kamara's not getting 6 for what he did. Calvin Ridley's not getting suspended a year for gambling. Meanwhile, Greg Hardy threatened to kill his girlfriend, threw her on a bed full of guns, and got 4 games.
Exactly.
Well, nothing's been proven yet in Deshaun. We have no.
Yeah, you think that will stop Roger Goodell, by the way?
Well, the problem is he faces the problem with, like, okay, if he suspends him too light now and it ends up getting worse, will you suspend him again? Like, I almost think they're going to wait and try to get him next year, but we'll see. I don't know. That's obviously incredibly biased, but I am actually looking forward
I'm
to
also
seeing,
worried that
especially
you
with
guys
just.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry.
the schedule looks pretty easy early for the Browns. I mean, the first couple games have come out. So if we can get like 6 not too hard games early, and I saw a leak, I don't know if it's the actual schedule. The first 6 games are pretty much all very winnable.
We play on Christmas Eve, by the way.
Yeah, I
That's
saw that.
awesome. We
Gonna
played the
whip
Dallas
that
Cowboys
ass.
Christmas- We played the Dallas Cowboys Christmas Eve. I'm so hyped.
I
JD,
would
one thing
love
I will
to
say
ruin
is
Kevin's Christmas. That make me
I
so
will laugh my ass off if the Browns keep keep screwing over Baker Mayfield, and they trade him or they
Baker
cut
kind
him.
of screwed himself, though.
Okay, listen, the motherfucker
By
played
giving his heart and soul to the city of Cleveland and playing with a fucked up shoulder.
Oh, and
Yeah,
also
basically.
won
Yes.
a playoff game
Yes.
for the first time. And how many
Yeah,
years?
that was a couple years ago. But yes,
It was last season.
It was a year and a half.
Literally last
Yeah.
season.
Here's the thing: is the problem is the Browns unfortunately played this the wrong way.
You know
Why
what's
don't
funny?
you guys
You know
go
what's
get him,
funny,
though?
Jared?
One of your teams.
We don't need him.
You guys
We got
love the
Jalen.
Browns, right?
We have Gardner
guys love
Minshew.
the
We're
Browns.
fine.
You know what's funny, Jared, is that the Browns fans got one taste of a playoff win, and now they think that they're the new Georgia football. No. They're Georgia football now. They got a little taste of the treat,
national
and they
champions?
think they're hot
Right.
shit now. But really,
Yeah, the national
honestly,
champions, awesome.
Cleveland's going to is going to be the worst team in that division this year.
If
They're
they
not better
were-
than
if-
Cincinnati.
No,
They're not
if
better
there
than Baltimore,
is-
and they're not better than
If
Pittsburgh.
there is a high
Whoa.
suspension, if not, absolutely not. They will
Pittsburgh is going to be in last
100%.
place this year.
No,
beat
Jared,
Pittsburgh
I'll
and
put money on it
Cincinnati.
right now. Pittsburgh has a better record than Cleveland at the end of the year.
$20, gentlemen's agreement.
100.
No, I'm broke, motherfucker.
Fine, beer. Well,
Do
tell
you
you what,
think
when I
Baker
moved to the
Mayfield
city,
played
when I
good
moved to
enough
the
last
city,
year to
we'll
not
do
warrant
drinks.
getting
All right,
an upgrade?
Cruz. When I find my new job and
did
I'm
it.
not getting my hours reduced, we'll do that. Okay.
Okay, so all right, I'm just saying I've looked at it. I'm like, look, they're not in that division. There is no way that Cleveland with Baker Mayfield and every team in that division got better. Baltimore is a sleeping giant now with what they did. Cincinnati got better with their offensive line.
Nightmares.
Cincinnati got better with their offensive line.
I mean, Baker Mayfield's not going to be our quarterback next year. So
No,
You don't have a quarterback for we're thinking at least halfway through the season.
We'll the
So
suspension.
what, you're gonna start the season. What?
If it's
Who's your backup? Right now?
Jacoby Brissett.
You think
that's
Jacoby
an-
Brissett's gonna
That's
win?
an
it?
instant
If the
4
suspension
losses.
is 6 games, I'm not saying we make the
2 and
playoffs.
4,
But I think
baby.
we finish second in that division behind Baltimore.
There's
if the
no-
suspension
you're
is
not-
6 games.
with Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Yes, I think Cincinnati is going to take a step back. Yes. 100%.
Okay, so then you have Baltimore, who
Baltimore's going to win.
half
the
their
division.
team was hurt last year, and they had
Baltimore's gonna win the
arguably
division.
the best draft and free agency out of anybody.
Yeah, Baltimore's going to win the division.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh does not scare me. There's not a quarterback there that scares me. I'm
Their
not a big Kenny
defense should
Pickett
scare
guy.
you.
Yeah, their defense is good.
They
And their
also
running
But
back
upgraded.
like
should scare you.
the division is stacked. The division is 100% stacked. But I think if Deshaun plays, we're one of the best teams in
If
the division.
is the key word.
If.
Is if.
That's what
Well,
I said.
like-
If the suspension is 6 games or less, I think we take second in the division. I
The
don't know if
whole
that makes the
reason we're like,
playoffs.
I had a guy who listens to our show. Shout out to my boy Rick. He goes to my gym. He asked me, do you want Watson? I said, honestly, like what scares me, this is also pre the indictment falling through. I was like, I don't want the ticking time bomb that is all the civil and possible indictment. It's like, I don't
Won't
want
happening after
Philly
the
to-
season.
It's like, listen, if he's not guilty in the civil shit and he plays, fuck, great investment. But it's like, do you really want to take that risk if you got a quarterback in Hurts who may honestly make the jump? Or in New Orleans, who they have J-Mo, who honestly J-Mo, he might be a fucking amazing quarterback. We don't know. The LASIK may have worked.
I don't know either. Look, I'm the most optimistic Saints person of all time. I am.
Gee, really?
I'm pretty optimistic. I'll be honest with you. This team, and I really think signing the Honey Badger, like that was going to be like one of the biggest things I was excited about. Is this defense that the Saints have, top to bottom, is top 3 in the NFL.
Okay, I'll give you 5. Don't push
No.
3. You guys do not have. Okay,
we have the deep. We have the deepest.
Your edge rushing besides Cam Jordan. That's it. Like you need
Davenport and Cam Jordan are good, and Onyemata is a great defensive tackle.
The problem is like you have Cam Jordan, and then you have a bunch of B- players. Like that's the only thing. If you guys got another edge rusher, oh my god. Like,
yeah, but look at it like this. So Davenport, when healthy, has been proven to be a monster. Cam Jordan is a walking 12-sack season. And then Onyemata is a great pass rushing defensive tackle. Then you have the most underrated defensive player in the NFL in Demario Davis, Quan Alexander, Pete Warner had a good year. Linebacker is where I'm a little like at. So I'm just waiting to see. But our secondary,
had the highest grade rookie year, I think.
He did. He had a great year, and I
better than I thought. I didn't think he was going to be a great player.
I didn't either, but like he reminds me of like a young Kiko Alonso. The way he runs downfield, I think he's going to be a really good addition playing with DeMario. I wish that they would have gotten a Kobe Dean in the second to pair with DeMario Davis. Like I think the Eagles got a steal in the 3rd round. I really do.
That was my bonus 6. Is like I already put like maybe a decent amount of money on the Kobe Dean rookie of the year.
It's so smart. Between him and I would probably say, I don't think Thibodeau is going to be up there. Like Aiden Hutchinson, I don't think Walker.
I want to bring something up quick about Thibodeau. JD, you're the Giants fan here, so you'll attest this. I was watching film on Thibodeau with Maserati for hours, right? We were literally sat down, we grabbed a 12-pack of beer, we sat there and watched tape on Thibodeau. I'm worried about one thing with his rotation. He does not use any pass rush moves except for a bull rush or his speed. There's no hand fighting. There's no wiggle. There's nothing. It's just, I'm going to beat you to the edge. And the problem is, let's see him do that against Lane Johnson or Tyron Smith or fucking Ryan Ramczyk. It's not going to work. He'll get slammed to the ground. I saw Lane Johnson chuck Von Miller. Okay? Like, you need to have a repertoire of moves. And the problem is, and even like fucking, what's his face over in what was the kid? Larry Tunsil over in Houston. You can go down every team has at least one good edge, like left tackle, right tackle. If you don't have more than just a bull rush and you're not over 270 pounds, it's a problem.
Kayvon is fighting the stigmatism that you need to be a good technical pass rusher to succeed in the NFL.
Dude, look at Khalil Mack coming in from Buffalo. He had one move in college. Get to the quarterback. He didn't use pass rush moves. He went to Oakland and was an outside linebacker, all pro, and then they moved him to DN, and then he becomes an all pro there. Like, I think Thibodeau.
Okay. Pause it a little bit on the Khalil Mack comparisons. Okay.
No. But look, if you look at their body types and you look at how they get after the pass rusher in college, it is the same. You could literally take their last name off and their number, and you put them on film, and you would think they're the same guy. Now, I will say this: Khalil Mack is faster, and I would say a little stronger, but their technique and their efficiency of how they get to the quarterback off the edge is about the same. And I think like Thibodeau playing in the NFL, getting that coaching will go a long way for him. Kind of like a different Mac.
JD, what do you think?
I'll be honest. I'm not like I don't watch the film and when it comes to the draft, like there's guys I like, but it's like take it for what it is. I think Thibodeau has everything that you need to be great. Obviously, all the concerns coming in, like I think it'll be interesting to know if it's like, does he actually have like a motor like issue, or was it just like lack of effort because it's like, I don't know, like Pac-12 and now he's got something to prove and now it's real money and real
passing league 12
because he will get shit on if he's taking plays off me, like that won't be able to hide very well on front.
Well, it's going to be another cloudy. It's going to be another cloudy thing.
But I think he's got everything. I think he's got all the traits you like to see. I don't know. I'll be honest. I like the pick enough. You know, I thought they had a good draft first round. I thought Neal was a steal for sure. And
JD,
Yeah,
I have a
I don't
question.
know. It'll be interesting to see what their defense does. They got a good
Okay,
defense
go.
too. Like he's got a
Is
good cast.
is your draft analysis the Trill Withers method of, oh, that boy nice, and that's it?
that and I'll be honest, it's a lot of like, I watched you play once, and did you ball in that moment? That's why I'm convinced that Kobe Dean maybe should have went first overall. I watched him play like 2 or 3 times, and I'm pretty sure he's the best football player I've ever seen.
The
And
Kobe,
those, like,
so
2 games.
I did some I did some digging on the
I'm
Kobe
kidding,
Dean,
I'm
by
kidding,
the way.
Chris.
One
No,
or
but I think
two
he's a
te-
dog. Like I watched him play a couple times, and I'm like, dude's like awesome. Like I
Okay,
flies
so-
around like crazy.
So can I say something on the Kobe Dean quick? And this is not even fan bias. The fact I wanted the Patriots to draft him. 'Cause I
Same.
didn't- So the thing is, like, I was like, it's a slam dunk for the Patriots because I think he's the best linebacker in the draft. I don't like Devin Lloyd because I watched his tape. The worst thing I've ever seen if you're a linebacker is if you can't stick up a Pac-12 running back in the hole. You literally can't stop him one-on-one and drop him. Every Devin Lloyd tackle is a fucking gang tackle, and that's not a good look. I watched Devin Lloyd stick up James Cook in the hole. I was like, oh, not James Cook. Fucking who's the running back? The big guy for you guys, for Alabama.
Oh,
What's his name?
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson. I watched him stand him up in the hole. I was like, oh my God, he's my size, and he just stood him up in the hole. Okay, he's good. My biggest thing is with Devin Lloyd is like, oh yeah, he's a sideline linebacker, but I worry it's a lot of arm tackles and a lot of the fact that
He's
like
Devin White is who he is.
that's what you said that on the show. I think that's a little insult to Devin White, but at the same time, it's like with what I worry about Devin Lloyd is that I think he fits in the Jaguar system because they already have one athletic linebacker. What's another one? My biggest thing is that when I watched his tape, my buddy's like, do you want Devin Lloyd? I'm like, really? If I'm honest, our biggest problem is for the Eagles was we could not tackle running backs in space. I still have that memory of Nick Chubb shoving Joel Osman into the turf and through the third dimension. Okay, so my biggest thing is like I look at a guy like Demario Davis, like Cruz's boy down there in New Orleans, right? I watch him stick up like professional running backs in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. I want a linebacker who's going to make a tackle and make it stick. Like I look at like fucking Gerard Mayo back in the day, T51 all day, or fucking Dante Hightower. Like I look at linebacker or even Patrick Willis. These guys stood running backs off.
I love Patrick Willis.
Patrick Willis was a fucking goat. I love that shit. But
I
like
think
you
with
guys, see
Jared,
what
I
I'm
think
you guys see what I'm saying though, right? Like it
Yeah.
scares
Yeah.
me that all of his tackles are gang tackles. There's
I
nothing
think-
that looks like he's stopping them.
part of the reason Nakobe Dean fell because of injury concerns, allegedly. But also part of the reason he wasn't the clear-cut number one on a lot of teams' boards is, yeah, he could stop Brian Robinson hitting the hole. Brian Robinson, I love him. He's going to have a good career. He's a guy, if your starter goes down, it's not too much a concern. He can do a little bit of everything, but he's not like a huge... When you think of Alabama power runners, you don't think of Brian Robinson,
No.
which is an unfair comparison because of some of the guys we've had.
You think of Derek, Mark, Trent, Bo. then maybe B-Rob, maybe.
Yeah, so he can
Eddie
stop him,
Lacy. Yeah,
and he had size concerns.
yeah.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
So he's
Bro,
an
you said what
athletic
you want about
freak.
Cheeseburger Eddie. He had the dirtiest spin move you've ever seen.
For a big man, he can move, man.
He has the ability to stop like a good running back, not a great running back, not a great power back. But in the NFL, I don't know if a guy that size, and a lot of teams has concern, can stop a Derrick Henry, which no one can, but a Nick Chubb,
Why
Josh Jacobs, a lot of guys like that who are power back, like with his size, people don't know if he can do it.
Why I love the pick is because he gets to sit next to Kazir White, who his tape at playing for the Chargers the last 3 years has been amazing. And then TJ Edwards, who basically is a human tackling machine.
Oh,
So-
no, where he was, that pick where he was, you don't care about the size.
Oh,
He-
also
That dude, nice. He can
at the
play.
point is he fell into the best situation possible because he's with 3 other linebackers who perfectly complement who he is as a linebacker. So, and also a good pass rush with Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, and Brandon Graham, and that monstrosity of defensive tackles called Hargrave, Cox, and Jordan Davis. Like the Eagles' defensive line looks like a fucking nightmare.
Bro, when it
he
gets
reminds
cold,
me of JOK from last year, Jeremiah Omusa Koromoa, where it's like he's dropping. Everyone's talking about how good he is. Everyone watched him, like his film's good. He is good. Why is he dropping? And then the Browns get him. Like, I'm pumped, I think, but like, why was he dropping? Then to come find out, the dude just is really
He's
good.
a tweener, whereas like.
And it didn't make sense why he dropped. I think Dean's going to be the same thing where it's like, we're going to look back after the season like, did everyone kind of overthink Dean and the injury stuff? Because I think he's going to have a good season.
It happens every year, though. It really
Well,
does.
also,
That's what I'm saying. That's
the point I was making about all this was like, apparently like teams will leak fake medical, like they'll like look at a guy and be like, oh, hey, they'll be like, oh, we're going to leak this shit. Like, oh, we're worried about his injury. He should get surgery. It's like his injury doesn't require surgery 90% of the time. That was the whole thing. It's like, and the Eagles were like, wait, he's here in the third round. We got our center. We got our D tackle. We got our receiver. It's like, fuck, let's go get a linebacker. Shit. Like, let's call it a day.
I don't know if this is that situation, though, because, like, if a team's later in the first and they want to leak some of that stuff to hope he falls, unless it was the Rams leaking this so they could get him with their, like, 1 5th-round pick they had this year.
Oh, God.
I don't know if that was the case here, just because he passed through basically every team twice.
Right. The concern felt real enough for pretty much the entire league that like everyone was like, there was real concern,
Also,
not just buzz.
I
not
also
like you got
heard
him to drop like 10 spots lower than you thought. Kind of.
I heard there was a comparison to me. It's like this dude has like a potential if he actually has a good NFL like career ahead of him. It could be like this draft's like DK Metcalf, where like every team passed on him 3 times because of a bullshit neck injury. And the fact is like, oh, he can only run 3 routes. Like, yeah, but he runs them really well. And honestly, a slant, a post, and a go route is not the worst thing in the world to run. But, you know, NFL GMs overthink everything. So,
but if people figured out DK, that's a question I saw on Twitter this week.
Yeah.
Apparently he's going to get a contract now.
They're not going to give him a contract. He's going to want too much. He doesn't want to play with Drew Lock.
Well, the thing is, watch, like, okay, so I have a weird theory, and I talked to Samir about this on his return show 2 weeks ago. I said, watch Drew Lock actually be okay in Seattle's offense because all he has to do is hand the ball off and chuck it deep, which is what he did at Mizzou. And the other thing is, like, yeah, Lockett and Metcalf, yeah, it's a different receiving core from what he had. He gets Noah Fant with him up here as well, who he's familiar with. Also, Denver's offense has never been one that fits Lock's skill set.
I will say this, though, is that like he had the luxury of playing with a defensive-minded team, like having that security blanket with a good defense. And he had the high altitude. Going to Seattle, he's playing with an offensive line that's not good, hasn't been good for years. You have a team that is clearly rebuilding, a defense that is not going to be able to stop anybody, and you have to build chemistry. Like I think Drew Lock can be Kirk Cousins. I think he can be good, but not great. I really do. But
Kirk Cousins with a Josh Allen arm. But
yeah. But I just think career-wise, he's going to be a Kirk Cousins, Alex Smith kind of guy. Jay Cutler. There you go. He is Jay Cutler.
Smoking Jay Cutler.
He is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's a young Jeezy.
First ballot all men's Hall of Famer.
But I think Seattle's not going to. I think it's a 1 year and done. Yes, he's got some potential. I think Drew Lock's going to have to run around like crazy. I feel bad for CJ Stroud or Tyler Van Dyke or Bryce Young if they have to go to Seattle next year, because guess what? Their offensive line still sucks. Yeah, DJ Dallas. I like DJ Dallas a lot. He went to high school with my sister. I've seen him play. I watched him play quarterback in high school. Kid's an athletic freak of nature. I think, and he was great at the University of Miami.
He runs so damn hard too.
He does. He's great. And then I think Rashard Penny's still there.
Travis Homer, and they have
so they got a stable of weapons. It's just you're not like if Russell Wilson couldn't do anything behind that offensive line, what the hell do you think Drew Lock's going to do?
Here's one thing I will offer.
I have one way to defend Drew Lock too.
Okay.
Prior to Russell Wilson, Matt Hasselbeck was probably the greatest quarterback in Seahawks history. Drew Lock is the second best quarterback to play for Seattle since Matt Hasselbeck.
What about Jim Zorn?
No, I'll take Tavares Jackson.
Tavares Jackson. I was going to say Jim Zorn, but okay.
I'll take Tavares Jackson.
Did Jim Zorn ever go to a Super Bowl?
Tavares Jackson won a playoff game in Seattle. So
I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield. That's Seattle quarterback.
Dude, I saw some edits.
It makes sense.
Baker looks nice in the Seattle uniforms. I think it fits.
He does. No, actually, I thought the same thing. I'm like, the 6 is going to look really good in that.
So I'm going to call it right now. with Baker. They're not going to trade him till preseason because there's someone who's going to go down with an injury. So there's two scenarios.
Everyone's just waiting for him to cut him.
Well, they're not going
nobody
to
wants
because
to
that's
trade him.
well, I mean, Baker is going to get $18 million guaranteed this year no matter what he does. He can sit on the couch. He can just show up to practice, be Alex Moran, no big deal. Or he's going to get a shot with the team that quarterbacks get injured or they need some competition. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Minnesota calls and be like, all right, what do you want? Because I don't think Kellen Mond's that dude. I wouldn't be surprised if a team like, let's say, San Francisco, are we sure that Trey Lance is that dude? Jimmy G's, we don't know about him. Lions with Jared Goff. You got, I'm trying to think, who else is a quarterback needy team? Atlanta, Carolina, Tampa Bay might need a backup because they don't believe in Kyle Trask. Like, who's somebody?
I think Carolina's kind of out on him.
Yeah, well, they got Matt Corral,
I feel like they would have made a move by now.
And Carolina's pissing me off with all Sean Payton.
So what do you guys think about? Me and Kev brought this up before. What do you guys think of Matt Corral going to Carolina? I fucking love it. I think he's going to start probably week 4 at the latest.
I just hope he doesn't start his first start against the Saints week 3, because generally teams, rookies that have their first game against the Saints, they ball out like Jalen Hurts and RG3 and. So I'd rather
you guys just have like that good luck charm. I actually kind of hope he's week 3 now because I love Corral. I love his story. I love everything about him. Me and Kevin both have him as our favorite quarterback in this class.
I think he was talent wise great, but he's got huge character issues. Like he's
okay.
I know, bro. No, I like this is not
beat alcoholism. He socked Wayne Gretzky's son in the face, which I'm okay with.
This isn't like it's not like this. Also isn't like rumors. This is like confirmed character.
Well, no, I understand that.
He's like he's no better than Chad Kelly. Character issue wise, he's no better. Like he had substance abuse issues. He's got anger issues. Like,
pause.
I'm sorry.
I think the difference though with Matt Corral is he's admitted that those are issues. He's tried to work on them. Chad Kelly never did that.
Chad Kelly basically belongs on an episode of Shameless. Like
Chad Kelly was like, "I'm Swag Kelly. I'm perfect."
Swag. I think talent wise, you look at those two. I take Swag Kelly over Matt Corral talent wise.
Cruz, damn man, I disagree completely.
Okay, I watched Chad Kelly light up Bama 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but also Johnny Football lit up Bama 1 year. It's like like there are fluke games every year. Bama plays
that
its
wasn't
best.
A fluke game. A fluke game. So there, like you can look back at those 2 games. So it's like there's only a few quarterbacks that have played Bama back-to-back years. Johnny Manziel put up over 1,000 yards in 2 years. Chad Kelly put up almost 1,000 yards in 2 years. Deshaun Watson put up 1,000 yards in 2 years. Those aren't flukes. Those are good confirmed players with different teams. Yeah. So like he's got talent. He was just a shithead. Deshaun Watson has talent. He's just a shithead. Johnny Manziel has talent, just a shithead. So it's like that's not enough.
Okay, so here's the other thing: is like
Garcia. That's
Matt Corral was not drafted as Mr. Relevant. I will also say this is all. I think Matt Corral also will have a solid NFL career because here's the thing: is like they didn't lose Christian McCaffrey, they kept DJ Moore, they kept Robbie Anderson.
I like DJ Moore.
It's like. Listen, the dude's not getting like the best environment, but the defense is getting better. They got an offensive tackle. It's like he actually might end up being okay. And the Panthers,
they'll be third. They'll be third in the NFC South.
The Falcons, we know, are going to be a clusterfuck this year. Like we all know what's going to happen. So what's stopping them from being like finally JD's prediction comes true? They're like an 8-9 team this year.
They look
I think they'll be third. They'll be third in the NFC South because I think Atlanta's going to be
an okay team. They're going to be like they're going to beat a lot of teams. They're going to catch like
New Orleans. They'll split.
They're going to catch like a team like Minnesota, like one of those fringe playoff teams. Mm-hmm. They'll catch them slipping. It's like that's what they're going to do this year. You know that's totally fine for Corral's rookie year. They're going to be. You know what they're going to be. They're going to be 2016 Philadelphia Cruz, where they're going to beat a bunch of teams they shouldn't, and they're going to lose games they shouldn't. So they're going to finish like below 500.
I'll give them this. They'll get swept by Tampa Bay. They'll split with New Orleans, and then they'll sweep Atlanta.
Yeah. I could have said it better myself.
I'll give them that. But I also do have New Orleans winning the NFC South.
We are officially off Tiki Live, obviously, because I do not want to take anybody else's time. We are officially on our quarter with Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Let's try to try to keep the final 2-3 minutes here right now. Free shout out to Cruz Oxford of the Oxford podcast, former Corner Booth podcaster, and possible returning. Who knows? We know JD is like
I'm like Tom Brady, who knows what I'm doing.
Are you asking me to leave Barstool and come back to Belly Up?
Listen, I mean,
No.
actually, I wanted to ask you about
No.
Barstool because if you had an opinion about Marty Mush and Hank.
I was gonna ask if you were Team Hank.
Oh, dude, I'm Team Hank all day.
If you're not Team Hank, you're an asshole.
Okay, so I'll put it like this. So I got the pleasure of meeting both guys in New Orleans. I got to meet Hank, and I got to meet Marty, and I actually got to like talk to them, not just be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Like I actually got to talk to him. I'll say this: Marty Mush, like getting to meet him, very nice guy, very down to earth. Like someone I would want to grab a beer with. Like I really would.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I just think in front of a camera, he's a completely different person. But like actually, just sitting and talking to him is like actually
so like Kevin.
He's a bro. He's a total bro. Hank is in a different situation. Like me and Hank talked a little bit. We talked, but he's just a higher up. Like he's gone a long way from being a producer from Pardon My Take to now being like a big deal at Barstool.
He's a made man.
He's VP.
He's a made man. He's come from lying on his resume to get a job at Barstool to being one of the top people, and it is awesome. Like I think like Hank is the man. I think is just a bad business decision on Marty's point.
I don't think he realized how bad it was going to be.
I think
that's part of it. I didn't think he thought it was going to affect his
as a
career
Barstool employee. You know, you're public. Like if
I think
you're
he
a
thought it would be like 1 or 2 weeks, give him shit and blow over. I don't think he expected to like not have a relationship with Dan and Dave anymore.
No, that so like I that kind of caught everyone off guard as far as like that going. I will say this: I don't think he's gonna lose his job over this. I think this is something where it's like, it happened. People are reacting very heavily to it because it is 2 prominently known people in the company, actually 3, and it's just a weird, uncomfortable situation for a lot of people. Like I texted a few people who were in the office, and I was like, because everyone showed up, and I was like, how is it at the office? And they're like, dude, people are walking on eggshells right now. So like, I'll be up in New York in 2 weeks, and I plan on going to headquarters, and I kind of want to see what's
grabbing
like.
beers.
I would love to. So I will be in New York next week. So I'm actually going on vacation on Saturday. I'm going to Cabo. So I'm going to be in Cabo.
Just text me when you get to New York. I'll meet you there.
And then I will be in New York full time at the end of June, full time.
Okay.
So beers all around. But I will say this: I think I feel like a lot of like friendships were tested and relationships, and clearly it's affected Marty on a professional standpoint because now people are not wanting to work with him, and it's hard to keep a career at Barstool if you don't have people backing you up. I think it's gonna blow over, and like I think when football season comes around, because it's NBA playoffs right now, we have baseball. I think once football season comes around, it's not going to be the same, but I feel like it'll just blow over. Because at the end of the day, it's like if those 2 end up making it and they get married and they're like meant to be together, like who fucking cares? Now, if it ends up in a terrible, tragic breakup in the office, I think that's going to go fucking nuclear.
Yeah, so like when I saw Dave's TikTok of Dave going, "It's marriage or bust for you guys," and Marty's like sitting there "Oh fuck!" I like the look in Marty's eyes. I've seen that look in guys' eyes before, but usually that's like a "Oh my god, That's like an "Oh my god, I'm screwed if I fuck this up" look.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he just stared down like his whole life in like one sentence. He's like, "Oh shit."
Marty went from being an intern working at a movie theater to being one of the more popular people in Barstool in a matter of a couple of years. So it's like, I just think it's one of those things where it's like, I think his feelings got the best of him. So I actually genuinely think he likes Rhea, because I don't think if you didn't like someone this much, you wouldn't be willing to risk everything. a dream job, dream scenario where you're liked by a lot of the main people at a company like this for a girl. So I think if at the
Dream
end of
job
the day,
is dream girl.
yeah, and so it's like, look, if they end up making it and it works out, I think it's all like, okay, clearly it's meant to be. I think Hank's doing okay for himself. Like Hank's
Tom
like,
Brady
clear
getting
winner
him.
here. Yeah.
he's doing okay. You got Tom Brady to freaking
This
and
couldn't
Julian
be
Edelman
playing
to
better
tweet
for
out.
Hank.
Yeah, so it's like
He doesn't
he's
even have
doing
to be
okay.
petty because everyone's doing it for him.
Also,
Like, he gets to be
dude's
the
the
good,
VP of
good
Barca.
guy. Like,
Yeah.
Dude's the VP of Barstool. Like, I think he's gonna do okay for himself in the lady department at this point now. It's like it's not like it's gonna be like the worst thing ever.
So Mincy is Team Hank. Barstool Nola is Team Hank. Cruz is Team Hank.
Corner Booth is Team Hank.
Yeah, but I will say this. I still like Marty. He's a great guy. I'm glad that we're able to meet in New Orleans, be come buds. I'm not gonna, if I see him in New York, I'm not gonna like not talk to him. I think it's like I'm almost 30 years old. I don't have time for childish
It's called
bullshit.
being a professional. So that's
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
like
so.
at the same time too. It's like I don't see it as a huge deal. I just think I've always believed like dating in the workplace is just never a good idea, ever.
No.
So
Made that
that's why me
mistake
and
once.
Kevin never
really
made
again.
this official, right, Kev?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
All right.
We just thought it
Anybody
wasn't
else
good
got
for the
anything? Oh, no corner with dartboard today. We are sponsored by our amazing friends at YeatsOfficial.com. Promo code Corner Booth for 10% off. I have unfortunately the last time we had Kevin on, I deleted the banner, so I will not type that up right now. But promo code Corner Booth 10% off. Also, one of our other sponsors, Cannon Dips. Funny story, boys. I forgot to put my email on the order that I just put in. So I have no idea what it's showing up for my 5 tins I just ordered. So I am literally
That is not surprising at all. How did it go
what
through
is
without
it?
you inputting an email?
I put in my email wrong. I think I put it in with like a missing letter or whatever. I was like literally trying to do a job app as I was ordering it on my phone. So that's just
Cruz. It's Canadips, by the way. It's CBD dip.
so like dip, like chewing tobacco dip.
yeah.
And I think they have one with
THC.
THC in it too.
Yeah, but you can only get it in California, which sucks. But
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, so they are official sponsor of Belly Up Sports. Promo code Belly Up for 20% off. Alrighty. That about wraps it up for the Corner with pregame. You can follow these handsome gentlemen at JD Davis. Where can we find you?
Oh, I'm on Twitter, but I'm Tom Brady. I'm there. I'm back. I'm retired.
Yeah. JD is like JD just kind of opens and closes the door when he feels like it. Cruz, where can we find your handsome butt?
You can find me in a variety of places. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at The Real Cruz Ox. Follow the Ox Cord podcast, new episodes every Monday. We give you free money with DraftKings Sportsbook app. So use promo code BOOT, get $100 in free bets. And then follow Barstool New Orleans. I always love coming on, hanging with my boys. So we're gonna go drinks when I move to the city. So
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna drag Kevin to the city. Kev, where can we find you?
I have never stopped in New York. It's always a drive-through. Don't make me do that.
you're gonna stop.
Just for you, Cruz. Just because I love you.
Thank you.
At Belly Up Kev, at Quad Tailgate on Instagram, Twitter. Go follow us, please. I just hit 1,000 followers on Twitter. I'm proud of myself.
There we go, Kev.
Even though Cruz has like
I just want to
8,000
be
now.
on for your Big Ten preview. That's all I want. So you
I
don't
will
pick
me for the
Indiana this year.
ACC.
I can't watch you pick Indiana this year. I just can't do it.
Indiana.
Last year, I
Indiana
picked
to win the
Indiana
Big Ten
to win the
last
Big
year.
Ten.
And
I
they were
picked,
on my, like,
I
top
picked
three
Iowa.
fraud
I
list.
picked my Big Ten preseason pick was Iowa, Penn State, and halfway through the season, I looked really smart.
I went chalk and
I
picked.
also had Iowa in the Big Ten.
I went
championship,
chalk and
so
picked
I
Ohio State because of the chicken.
I'll just wait.
What's it worth?
Wait for my picks this year. Like, please have me on. I got some good takes this year.
Oh my god, it's gonna be fun. All right, and you can of course find myself at Belly Up Jared and at the Corner Booth Podcast as well on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, which we're bringing back up to speed. We're probably actually gonna do a show Tuesday. We took the last week and a half off because honestly it's been a slower news days on Tuesdays. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Come check us out. I appreciate y'all stopping by today, of course. Also, shout out to Cruz, JD, and Kevin for stopping by. We hope you have an amazing weekend. Drink responsibly.
No.
Don't drink and drive. You know the drill. Peace.
Sure, I'll do that.
Peace.